Coach, what did you think that your team got accomplished over this kind of break period, at least in terms of games? I know you talked a lot about getting some non-softball things out of the way so that you guys could fully have your focus in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, I mean, our women had finals this week, so some of them are still finishing up today. So a lot on their plate, but looking forward to the opportunity to compete for the, Big 12 title, tournament title this weekend. So we had what we needed in terms of some rest, some time off to heal, focus on studies, and then getting back at it and working. So we had good opportunities to, we got a lot of hitting in this week, a lot of live at bats, which I think is beneficial as well. So those were kind of the main things.
It's been obviously a tough season for you guys, but for you to come in here, your first year and get them to the tournament for the fourth year that they've been in it, what did that mean to you?
It's great. I think that that's going to be a minimum standard for us moving forward. I'm really glad that we were able to accomplish it in this crazy year with, pandemic and coaching changes, so many other things. But, moving forward, this is, pretty much the bare minimum that we're going to expect out of ourselves. So really good place to start and to continue to grow and build and evolve from.
Hey, Coach, I know Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman, by the way. I know I'm a weird face on here for you, but wondering about OU. I know they're not first up for you, but it looks like between Juarez starting and May getting a lot of innings late, they kind of look like their two main pitchers right now. Can you tell me what you've seen out of those two that makes each of them difficult to face?
I just think like one of the main differences, at this level is the mentality, and they're going to compete every single pitch, no matter what. So it doesn't make sense for us to worry as much about what they're throwing us as, instead we need to be worrying about what we're going to bring to the table. If we're just trying to play defense against them with their game plan, then we're not going to be successful. They have great mentalities. They compete. They expect to win, and that's half the game right there. So they have a great pitching staff, all the way through, but those two have definitely taken the reins for them as of recent. And I love that they're going to be ready to compete. And that's what I expect of our team as well, especially moving forward.
Do you feel like with May, I mean, she's just a freshman, and I know we see more and more freshmen making immediate impact because of just how good they are coming out of youth, travel ball, all that sort of stuff. But do you think she's, she has to be aided to some degree by their offense, just the confidence she gets. How much do you think that plays into it? And just how good do you feel like she is out there?
Yeah, she's holding her own no matter what, but it always helps when you're putting up, 10 runs a game or whatnot, or whatever their averaging is right this moment. They're leading the nation in, run production. So, any pitcher would love to throw for an offense like that. But, it does take a lot of guts and the right mentality to step up as a freshman and not shy away from that. She's done a great job of that.
Coach, in terms of getting now to play Baylor first off again, how much in your mind do you want your players to think about what they saw in that series against them and kind of try to remember some of the stuff they did? And how much do you have them, hey, just kind of go in there with maybe a new mindset?
Well, I think it was a competitive series. I think we match up well with them. And I said that going into the series last time, but the reality is we're not trying to live in the past. We got to live in the present and the future. So whatever happened, good or bad, can't do anything about it now. But if we're in the right mindset and we're ready to compete each pitch, then I like our chances no matter who we face.
What gives you confidence going into Oklahoma City that your team can have that on the field success that maybe they want to have?
Well, we've been competing a lot in practice. I think our younger kids are really stepping up right now, and they're really challenging the older kids. So, as a coaching staff, we're in a challenging position right now to try to figure out who our lineup is. And it had been pretty set throughout the year, but the reality is the younger kids have gained a lot of experience throughout this, second half of the season. And I think they have the confidence to step up and say, hey, don't discount me. I can help us win as well. So the challenge right now is for our coaching staff to figure out how to put the pieces together for the lineup.
Hey, Sammy.
It seems like
Go ahead.
I know it seems like quite a while now since that last win against Iowa State, but how big of a win, was that for you guys? Obviously helping you sort of edge out Kansas for that spot, but also just building momentum towards going to this tournament.
Yeah, that was really nice. And I really felt like it was an entire team win. We had contributions from almost everyone on our team. So that was the whole goal going into that game, is making sure that we had kind of divvied out the experience and making sure to shake off any cobwebs going into it, because, we were off this weekend. So we knew that was the last opportunity to get real experience going into it. And I thought, everyone who was in the lineup stepped up to the challenge.
Hey, Coach, I was actually just on a Zoom a little bit ago with Coach White at Texas, and he brought up something I hadn't honestly thought about. He said everybody on their team has finally passed their vaccination 2-week window, all of that, and just how that's altered what they can do now. Are you guys getting to the point where you're seeing your numbers get to a point where you can maybe meet as a team, do some different things? How has that sort of been for you guys?
I think we're pretty lucky with where we are. Most of us have been vaccinated, whoever wanted to be, for quite a while now. So I think our standards have been a little looser here than a lot of other places, but that's because we have put ourselves in the position to, be fully vaccinated. But it's been nice. I mean, it was crazy. I think maybe in March or something like that, we were standing up for the anthem and we were at home and my picture was up on the Jumbotron. One of the players turned around to me and she said, "I've never seen your face." And I was like, wow, but that's really true. I mean, considering when I came in the year and being masked up the whole time, she's like, "I had no idea that's what your face looked like." And how crazy is that to think about? So, I mean, they've been able to see my face for a while now. And so starting to get to know each other, recognize some jaw lines and things like that. But I mean, hopefully we're moving in the right direction as a country and being able to open things up. Like my sister right now is supposed to be flying out. Her flight got delayed, but from Oregon to come and help us with our daughters for this weekend and stuff. So, I mean, I haven't seen my own family in well over a year now. And it's just crazy, this world we're in right now. But hopefully we're moving in the right direction and these, some of these things can be lifted up off of us now.
You mentioned the fact that some of your players hadn't actually seen you. Some of them probably don't see much of each other. Have you been able to do some team activities or reduce the number of buses or just stuff that used to be like, that's just the way you do business? Like, is stuff like that changed now for you guys too?
A little bit. I mean, we were only taking one bus the whole time anyway. Like I said, our standards, our expectations were a little bit different than maybe they are in Austin and things like that. But I think one of the biggest pluses is, while we're in our hotels and stuff like that, being able to have like a team meeting room and spending time in there with each other. Because honestly, when we're at home playing, everyone's got so many other responsibilities and are pulled in so many other directions. We almost have a greater opportunity to spend time together when we're on the road because it's us on a business trip.
Coach, I'm curious, you're very, us as a team focused, you guys as a team focused. Did you find yourself watching some of the Kansas-Iowa State series over the weekend? Did you monitor it at all? How did you kind of find out that you guys were going to be in the postseason?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely watched the games. I had freedom for the first time in forever, which was so uncomfortable, but I was able to, use my ESPN Plus app and be watching the games. And it was a lot of fun, but I mean, I would prefer to have been competing, but it was kind of fun just for a little bit to be able to see every pitch of our opponents live instead of going back and watching them later.
Just in general, being able to be in that postseason, is that something that you have to preach to your team? Hey, we got to soak this all in, or are they pretty good about recognizing the opportunity to be here and that one team doesn't get to be here and just taking in the moment a little bit?
I think it is the expectation of our program to be there year in and year out. So I don't know if they are taking, seeing how great of a gift it is. So we'll probably give them a little bit of a reminder. Thank you for giving me the reminder. But I mean, it's challenging sometimes because you're full steam ahead and you know what you're trying to do, but you don't always appreciate it as you go. So we do need to take the moment to appreciate it. So thank you for the reminder.
Obviously a tough draw for you guys, but what's sort of the key to just, even still in one of these games?
I love how competitive the Big 12 is. I really do. And, I think that it's so exciting to be able to see, even last weekend with Oklahoma State taking one from Oklahoma and that being a real competitive series. I think anyone can beat anyone at any given time as long as you're ready for the opportunity. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter who we play. I love all of our matchups because, like I said, this is a competitive conference and we're not trying to go anywhere and, get charity wins. So we want the opportunity to take a win from one in both of them. But I'm excited about us getting the opportunity to start with Baylor. We got to, both teams that we're going to face, they have a very, great history of their program. That's something they've both kind of set the standard for us and what we are looking to do in our own program. So it's exciting just to have the opportunity to honestly upset one or both of them.
Coach, hey, one last thing, sort of thinking about, I think you mentioned earlier, OU's offensive output and frankly, the offensive output of pretty much every team has jumped when you think about 10 years ago, 20 years ago. From your perspective, is there a point where it's too much offense? I mean, I remember when 1-0 was the norm. Now, if there's a game 1-0 out there this weekend, it's going to be like, wait, what's happened? I mean, like, do you feel like, field dimensions or I don't know. I mean, is this just the way it's going or has it gotten to the point where maybe it's swung too far?
I think it's really interesting because the general fan that doesn't even know much about softball loves watching softball primarily because of our offense right now. So I'm not sure if it's going to change back the other way. When I think about it, I think more on the other side of the pitching side at the youth level. I really think that our pitching distances should stay closer for longer like it used to be. So pitchers actually have more of an opportunity to dominate hitters than they do now. I think we're pushing our pitching distance back too far too soon. And, I think about my own daughter. She's 10 years old, my oldest, and, she wears one of those little masks when she pitches, but she doesn't wear it for any other position. And, when those masks first started coming out, people are like, oh, why are you wearing them? And now it's like, why wouldn't you wear them, especially at a youth level? And I'm not saying, and also at our level with how hot the bats are and everything like that right now. But I really think that we kind of rob our pitchers of the opportunity to really develop and dominate by moving the pitching distance back too far too soon. So I can kind of think of it more of that way. I think we can kind of even it out a little bit more or give pitchers a better opportunity to be putting some of those hitters away. But the reality is we have a lot of offense, but we also have a lot of swings and misses. The bat technology is so hot right now. The balls are hot right now. The field distance is what it's been for a long time. I don't think that's going to change much. But there is more. I mean, there are a lot of swings and misses and a lot of live offense, but everyone loves to watch the offense.
Do you think that the pitchers at the youth level, are they walking away from a position? Are they leaving the sport? What are you seeing? I mean, it sounds like with your kids in the middle of it, you probably have it, not only that sense as a college coach, but as a mom. Like, what are you seeing?
I don't know. I think pitching's hard, hitting's hard. But I think if you don't really have a chance to see yourself really being successful, it's kind of hard to stick with it. I'm sorry, the lights in my office just went off. I need to do a wave or something like that. But I don't necessarily think they're walking away from it because they're getting hit too hard or anything like that, but they're not really seeing like true success. I mean, after my daughter's last game, some guy who didn't know that my husband and I coach came up to us and he's like, "Oh, she's got a pretty good arm. If she plays travel ball, she might have a future." And we smiled and said, "Thank you very much." But it's interesting because everyone thinks they've got the answer for the kids, but experience is the answer for the kids, in all honesty.
Great stuff. Thank you.